In today's program, the government is considering easing some restrictions as daily infection rates have slightly improved. Meanwhile, police are now on the search for the former police chief accused of suffocating a drug suspect. Details on these stories and more coming right up. You're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest top stories in Thailand. In our first news, government officials have been meeting today to discuss the possibility of easing some restrictions ahead of a meeting of the CCSA tomorrow. A spokesperson says the proposal to ease some curbs is being driven by the general fall in infection rates across the country. Today, Thailand reported 18,501 new cases compared to over 20,000 every day last week. The CCSA also reports that the number of people discharged from hospital each day continues to exceed the number of new infections, meaning there are sufficient beds available for patients with moderate or serious illnesses. But that she cautioned the northeast of Thailand in particular is seeing a surge in cases as a result of patients traveling back to their hometowns for treatment. Thai police are out to catch one of their own with a manhunt launched for former police chief Thitisan Utthanaphon, who remains on the run and a wanted man. The ex-cop, previously chief of police in the central Thai province of Nakhon Sawan, is accused of causing the death by suffocation of a drug suspect in custody. The dead man has been named as 24-year-old Jirapong Thanapat. 7 officers allegedly involved in the incident have been fired, with arrest warrants issued. 5 have now been arrested, while 2 remain on the run. A spokesperson for Thailand's top cop says that the police are seeking cooperation from their counterparts in neighboring countries to locate Thitisan in case he has already fled across the border. Yesterday, police searched Thitisan's luxury home in Kanayao district of Bangkok, finding a collection of 13 luxury and sports cars valued over 100 million baht. It was also revealed that the local Nakhon Sawan public hospital issued a certificate listing the cause of death of the 24-year-old victim as methamphetamine poisoning. Since the release of the video, the hospital's officials are also being put under the investigative spotlight.
Today's show is brought to you by Boat Patana of Boat Avenue and Shambhala, Phuket. For more information on their properties, see the link in the description below.
Police have arrested 7 teenagers for allegedly possessing ping pong bombs with plans to use them at an upcoming protest in the capital. Officers raided a home in Nakhon Pathom, directly north of the capital, and seized 18 ping pong bombs. The teenagers at the home, aged 12 to 19, were all arrested. Police also confiscated 3.69 grams of cannabis, knives, and a cutting board. One teenager allegedly claimed ownership of the ping pong bombs. Reports in Thai media says the explosives were planned to be used at the August 29th protest in Bangkok. The teens face charges of possessions of cannabis, which is still classified as a Category 5 drug, possession of explosives without permission, and for violating the emergency decree which bans gatherings of more than 5 people in dark red provinces. A Cambodian worker at a camp in Pattaya has sustained a critical head injury after he was reportedly beaten by local teenagers. Police were alerted to the attack at 11 p.m. on Tuesday night. When police got to the worker camp, they found the man lying on the ground, bleeding profusely from his head. The 28-year-old worker was then rushed to a nearby hospital for medical treatment. Another worker at the camp said she heard shouting and banging and then watched out a window as the assault unfolded. She says the attackers then left him to bleed on the ground as they drove off on a motorcycle. She also disclosed that the man, who is her neighbor, was a heavy drinker and that he'd acted violently a number of times towards other people around the camp. In another arrest story, police in Bangkok arrested a man who allegedly posed as a policeman and sexually assaulted prostitutes and stealing from some of them. Allegedly, he raped sex workers more than 40 times over the past 6 months. The 34-year-old man was arrested in Bangkok's Lat Phrao district. He has allegedly admitted to police that he pretended to be an officer and sexually assaulted women, claiming he did it because he is obsessed with having sex. He had been released from jail earlier this year after serving time for sexual assault charges. The man now faces several charges, including sexual assault, theft, and pretending to be a police officer. Another arrest story. Police arrested 19 people in the central province of Suphanburi for illegal gambling and holding a gathering that violates the emergency decree. Officers also seized methamphetamine and a gun. Police arrived at the scene and confiscated 3 bags of meth pills and a pistol. All the 19 suspects between the ages of 23 and 50 also face drug charges. They've also been charged for violating the National Emergency Decree, which has been in place since April of 2020. Everyone was arrested and bundled off to the Don Jedi police station for further questioning. Taking a break from all the crime stories, domestic car sales have plunged by nearly 12% year on year to the lowest level in 7 months. Industry pundits are blaming the third wave of COVID and the stringent lockdowns and the restrictions on the large drop in sales. Car companies across the country are now expected to reduce their production. There's also been huge supply chain disruptions in the region, including a semiconductor shortage, along with other parts for new cars. Apart from the COVID and supply chain issues, financial institutions have become more reluctant to grant loans to new cars as well. Currently, the rejection rate for car loans stands at around 50%, up from 30% during the first and second waves of COVID-19 last year. And that's all for today's stories. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep the notification bell on to stay on top of the latest stories. Hope everyone stays safe and healthy. And now you're up to date on the Thaiger.
It's time to join the conversation. Thaiger Talk is our forum where you can share your thoughts and comments about all the news stories, as well as just about anything happening in Thailand. Just scroll down under any Thaiger story, click on Thaiger Talk, register, and you're in. It's time to join Thailand's fastest growing forum. So jump in and be part of the Thaiger Talk conversation.
Tim was sad. He had time on his hands but didn't know where to find the news. But then he remembered. The Thaiger app, all your Thai news and Thaiger videos in one place. Just a single click takes you to a one-stop connection to all the news and information in Thailand. Now Tim is happy. Available free on Apple and Android, hologram not included.